The Chicago Police Department has found itself with a new lawsuit alleging breach of privacy. Essentially, this is over the use of a Stingray device to carry out unlawful surveillance on citizens and activists in 2015. It amounts to a warrantless, unconstitutional search, alleges the new lawsuit against the police. Essentially, it's a device that mimics a cell phone tower. So when activists are talking on a cell phone at a demonstration, this phony cell tower takes the signal and records it. So essentially, this is a wiretap without a warrant, and that's the problem. This was made by the Harrison Corporation. The Stingray, which is most well known as a brand of a controversial spying device, it's used by the FBI, the Secret Service, the Drug Enforcement Agency, as well as many local and national state law enforcement services. It impersonates the cell towers with the cell site simulators to compel cell phones in an area to broadcast information that can be used to identify and locate users. The devices are indiscriminately collecting information and intercepting data, including the content of voice and text communications from several phones at once. Meaning, this isn't just hitting activists, it's hitting anyone who's using a cell phone within the range thing, even people who are not a part of a protest and are not under investigation by the police. Their civil rights are also being trampled on. The surveillance took place in January 15, 2015, according to the lawsuit, where activists and residents took part in a march in Chicago march to reclaim Martin Luther King Day. Police brutality was one of the focuses of the demonstration, according to reports. So a big part of this was actually trying to track down people who managed to record police carrying out abuses. Now, the Chicago police did use a cell site simulator to search for phones of protesters, bystanders, and Chicago residents approximately around 8 p.m. at the protest near the 220 block of West Ogden Avenue, which is alleged by the lawsuit. And here's an excerpt from what the lawsuit also alleges. The Chicago Police Department deployed the cell site simulator in the immediate vicinity of private homes, private offices, juvenile courts, medical facilities, and at least one church, as well as protesters engaging in protected political speech. The police did this without a warrant or probable cause to search and seizure the private cell phones. Very clearly, the Chicago police have committed a human rights violation and a violation of civil rights by essentially tapping people's phones without any permission, listening in on private conversations, not just of protesters, but of completely innocent people, juvenile courts, private businesses, private residences, etc. And of course, they're fighting this lawsuit. They can't actually admit that what they did was completely unlawful. And this shows a continued escalation of police powers within the country, and that human rights really don't mean anything to the police whatsoever. That even when a society has rules that are supposed to give honorable conduct to police officers, they don't follow it. And I can't think of a time when they ever really did. I mean, this is just another example of the abuses that are being carried out by what is essentially evolving into a police state in America. And it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out in court, because I think there's a very good chance the police could actually win. I mean, the police and, the courts tend to be pretty much on the same side most of the time. But just let this be a warning to anybody at protests or demonstrations in the future that this kind of technology, this Stingray device, is going to be deployed. And I don't know of any technology that can actually counter this kind of spying. So if you are out there doing protests, demonstrations, etc., just be careful when you use a cell phone. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.